The Milly Dowler case, where a 13-year-old girl disappeared on her way back from school, and after 6 months a horrific event happened to her that prevented her from returning to her family. The Milly Dowler case, whom her friends and family all called Milly, was a 13-year-old girl from Surrey, England. Milly, born on 25th, 1988, lived with her parents Bob and Sally and her older sister Gemma. Milly and her sister Gemma were very close, just like best friends. They always stayed together in the same room. On March 21st, 2002, everything changed to the Dowler family when Milly never returned home from school. Milly didn't come home from school on March 21st, and well, her parents waited a bit longer that day, thinking she might be hanging out with her friends. But it was already 7 o'clock, and they had been waiting for a long time. Night fell, and they got worried. So they contacted the police and reported Milly missing. The police first talked to Milly's friends. Then they review the CCTV cameras on her roads. Milly was last seen at 3:05 p.m. as usual, leaving the school. After that, she went to the bus stop with her friend Daniel, and it was around 3:24 p.m. Actually, Daniel was one of her friends whom she hadn't seen for a long time. So that day, they decided to go to a cafe together to catch up. The cafe they wanted to go to was only one stop away from the usual stop where Milly used to get off. So Milly agreed, and they went to the cafe to chat. At 3:47 p.m., Milly borrowed a phone from one of the boys in the cafe because her phone was out of charge, and she wanted to call her dad and tell him she would be home in half an hour. Her dad said okay. After their meeting, Milly returned alone, and it's not clear what happened to her afterward. At 4:08 p.m., one of Gemma's friends saw Milly near a bus stop, and she momentarily engaged with her. Then she saw her no more. Gemma's friend didn't notice any commotion or shouting, which means Milly might have left willingly.
I was just there waiting for my bus, and Milly was walking on the other side of the road, and it must have been within 30 seconds, maybe up to a minute, that my bus came round to pick me up. Looked out for her, and I didn't see her. At the time, obviously didn't think too much of it, thought it was a bit strange.
A week passed, and all media outlets were reporting, and almost everyone knew about Milly. The police, after checking the CCTV cameras along Milly's roads, realized she never came back that way.
I'd say if someone has taken Milly and is holding her, then please, please give her back to us. You can't believe.
There was a high chance she got into a car, but at that time, Britain wasn't equipped enough to make cameras see inside cars, so they asked for FBI's help. Finally, after 6 months, a lead was found that a Mazda car was seen picking up a child. But that child disappeared from their blind spot. The investigation to find the owner of that car was carried out, and after a few days, the car's owner, a lady, came forward, revealing that she was picking up her own child from school. So this lead turned out to be useless. After 6 months, the police became certain that Milly was dead, and they started looking for her body. After extensive searching, a body was found in their woods, completely decomposed and unrecognizable. Dental records revealed that it was indeed Milly Dowler. No one knew anything. As usual, the police suspected Milly's father, because in such cases, families are often the prime suspects. But this assumption quickly faded. In November 2004, almost 2 years after Milly's disappearance and murder, police officers working on the Milly case received a call from an officer from another area who told them he believed he had found a lead in the Milly case. These police officers were in a different part of England, working on cases involving young girls as victims. While working on these cases, they came across a suspect named Levi Bellfield, who had become a suspect in those cases they were investigating. Before coming to London, he had lived 90 meters away from where Milly had disappeared. So they connected the dots and said, maybe the suspect they have for these cases might be the one who killed Milly before coming to London. Levi, a 35-year-old man born in southwest London, had 3 wives and 5 children and had been charged with various crimes from theft and harassment to murder. One of Levi's prominent traits was his disdain for women, treating them like objects. She didn't mean squat to him. The cops banged on his door 11 times when Levi lived just 90 meters away from where Milly disappeared. But no one ever answered, so they didn't bother much. When Levi became a suspect for Milly's case, he was already suspected in 2 other murder cases and 30 other harassment incidents. One of the cases he was suspect in involved a 22-year-old girl named Emily, a French student who had come to England for fun. On August 19, 2004, Emily went out with her friends for a good time, and after separating from her friends, she went alone towards the bus stop. She did get on the bus, but since several bus lines were missing, she was seen deciding to take a shortcut where she was struck on the head by a blunt object. Emily died on the spot, and Levi was a suspect in several cases. In 2001, Levi was accused of kidnapping and imprisoning people, and even in 2003, he was accused of murder. But he wasn't convicted for any of them. In July 2005, Levi Bellfield was finally interrogated for stealing and killing Milly. During the interrogation, Levi didn't say anything, no matter what questions they asked him. Levi said he had no opinion, meaning not a single word was used in the interrogation by Levi.
That's at the very beginning of the interview. Do you remember that?
No comment.
That's exactly what you said. No comment. Found that very interesting, and I'll tell you for why. You didn't deny it. You didn't say, it's not me. And at no stage over the last 2 days have you denied any involvement in these offences.
No comment.
Why is that, Levi?
No comment.
Why haven't you sat there and said, jumped up and down and shouted from the rooftops, you've got the wrong person?
No comment.
But as integration progressed, Levi became more and more agitated. His body language kept changing, and it was clear he was stressed. The police became more suspicious, but Levi didn't say anything. The police still needed strong evidence to convict Levi for Milly's case. But since Levi wasn't talking, they turned to his ex-girlfriend at that time, Emma. She said she lived with Levi in the same apartment, less than 100 meters away from where Milly was last seen. But they didn't stay there, just headed. But she said she had no idea where Levi was that day, but she remembered that around 10 p.m. he came home and she remembered he had changed his clothes that night. He behaved very strangely that night. At 3 or 4 in the morning, Levi got up and suddenly said he wanted to go to that house that was just 100 meters away from where Milly had disappeared, and even took his dog with him. Levi's family also lived there. When he went there, he kicked his family out. Levi's girlfriend, when she entered the house, saw that the beddings had been changed. An 11-year-old girl named Rachel Hughes was walking back home from school exactly 3 miles away from where Milly was last seen. The girl said that the man was in a red car and picked Milly up and drove her away. This testimony led to Levi's arrest and trial. During this time, Levi was destroying evidence, but he couldn't destroy it all, like his car, and finally, on March 31st, 2010, he was convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment for the murder of several people. The case was closed.
If you're into crime stories and documentaries, subscribe to our channel because we'll be posting loads of videos every day.